Alright, welcome everybody. You are joined by me, Eric, and today we have a co-commentator, Rocky Morton. Say hello.
Uh, hi guys.
Uh, it's nice to finally have you back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Today we are on Suzuka. Right now the drivers are doing the qualifying. Looks like we have 7 drivers on the server right now. We had 8 before. I think one might have issues somehow. Not quite sure what issues, but we'll see. He might be able to join in before the race starts, but we'll see. I'm trying to sort it out with him right now. Alright, as you see, Karlsruhe is on pole right now. Albon Petit is qualified second right. There's a pretty big gap between everyone and Sorenko and Petit right now. Not sure what that's all about. Luke Mason is usually a little bit faster than this. And earlier in practice we saw David Kraft being faster than Sorenko. So we'll see how this turns out. Sorenko said he had some problems with his car earlier, just before the race started. But we'll see. This is quali, and it's a 45-minute race with 1 pit stop and a pit window, 10 minutes in the middle of the race. So anything can happen. You said you saw the race yesterday, Rocky.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I saw enough to see that Carroll, similar to qualifying today, did well at the beginning, but then something went wrong and he was in 4th place. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, it seems that he went for a bad strategy. He had half fuel in his car, so he had to stop for a little bit longer in the pit lane to fill up. He did this even though he had first place, and he should have been able to do it pretty good anyways without having that. But David Kraft did the opposite. He started with full fuel, and thanks to having a shorter pit stop, David Kraft actually overtook Sorenko in the pits.
Wow, so it was a strategy win for David Kraft. That's superb.
Yeah. We'll see if there's any overtakes in the pit lane today. I think most of the drivers are probably aware of what happened last time, so they probably, if I have to gamble, I'm gonna say every one of them are gonna have starting on full fuel. But there's gonna be very short pit stops today. You have any other gamblings or?
No, just like you mentioned a moment ago, there's a significant difference in lap times from the first 2 to the rest of the track, the rest of the field, which is quite unusual. Usually there are a lot more closer times than that, so interesting to see.
Yeah, most definitely. Right now, all the drivers have finished their qualifying. It's just David Kraft still on track. We're gonna see if he can catch up. You see, Taylor Milano is falling behind quite a lot there. That's a little bit surprising. I didn't think Taylor was going to be this slow on this track. Taylor Milano, of course, the winner of the America Series, but somehow he's not quite up there yet right now. David Kraft is in a hot lap here. He's got 0.6, 0.7 now. See, oh, he's gaining a lot of time here at the end now. 1 second faster than his last time. See, that should be able to get him at least 1 position if he can. I don't think this could be enough to overtake Tarkowski. Tarkowski doing a really good qualifying today. Of course, you know Tarkowski from the European series.
Yeah, Tarkowski joined the league how many seasons ago?
I think he's been here 2 seasons. So
2 seasons, yeah.
I think he was in silver in both of the seasons, but yeah, you guys have been, I think, pretty similar pace, haven't you?
No, I think you're flattering me a little bit there. Tarkowski's always been a little bit faster than me on most of the circuits. I think the results would tend to agree with me.
Maybe it's the other Polish driver I'm thinking of. Yeah, we are seeing the drivers are on the grid right now. They're waiting for the race to start. We got 5 minutes to go before we start, so we're gonna take a little bit of a short break here as the commentators will be back in a few minutes. So stay tuned, and the race will start shortly. Alright, welcome back everybody. The race is about to start. Drivers are on the grid, ready to start here. So we're going to see them go off. Of course, Cars Ranker qualifying first in the pink Olympus Racing livery there, the BWT mix. Second place is Album Teat, also Olympus. Both the Olympus drivers pretty close together. The third driver in the row is Luke Mason, qualifying 1 second slower actually. So a little bit slower there. Then we have Tarkowski qualifying 4th, very surprising. David Kraft in 5th, Taylor Milano in 7th, Taylor Milano in 6th, Seb in 7th. There we go. That makes more sense. We had Marhan Koderman today as well. He was going to be here, but he had some issues, I think, so he will not be able to join the race. Really unfortunate because he did a pretty good race yesterday, although he was got 3rd place yesterday actually. Let us get the standings up from the last race. As we can see, David Kraft won the last race with 30 points. Album Petit, he came in 2nd place with 23 points. And he's qualified 2nd today as well, so he has a pretty good chance of taking the lead. Of course, if Karsarenko wins, he could be stealing that lead from Album Petit, so it's going to be a fierce battle between the Olympus drivers there. But I think the rest of the drivers are pretty hungry as well, so we're going to probably see a lot of battles. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, so bear with me. Yeah, how do you think the race will look?
Yeah, I think it's going to look very interesting because we can see by the timings that this track is not a favourite track or an overly familiar track for 75% of the drivers here today. Maybe only 2 of the drivers are really familiar with this track and have achieved anything like the type of quality time that you might have expected, around about the 2-minute mark. So that can lead to an interesting race when perhaps over the length of a race you might expect a few mistakes from the drivers that are less experienced on this track.
Yeah, we saw just before the race started that Taylor Milano actually mentioned that he doesn't have any experience from this track before, so that's why he's a little bit slower. But I think as Rocky said, as the race goes on, the less experienced drivers will probably have a little bit of a drop in pace, while the more experienced drivers like Taylor Milano and Luke Mason and the other drivers will probably pick up their pace. So we'll definitely see some driver or some position changes over the race. I'm pretty sure of that, and we'll see of the battle in front. Luke Mason, of course, he has been a little bit faster than Karsarenko during the entire season, but we'll see how that turns out this race. I don't know. Who do you think will win this race, Rocky? Do you have any favorites?
Wow. Do we have any favourites? Well, if Caro has his strategy sorted out for today, then you would be hard placed to pick another driver. He will be very, very keen to win today. After that, it'll be Albin Petit, a very, very strong competitive driver. And outside of that, anyone else could pull it off if there's a mistake by those 2 drivers.
I think we're about to go green here any second now. Looks like Albin's quite far ahead, and we're there green. Looks like Milano getting a pretty good start here. Sorenko's getting a little bit of contact there between Milano and Tarkowski. Looks like they all go through that pretty good. No big incidents in the start. There was some contact, but not anything big. Karsarenko got away good. He keeps 2nd place. Luke Mason still in 3rd. Milano's gained 2 positions, I think. I can't remember if he qualified 5th or 4th. I think it was 5th. But yeah, we can see Carlsrank is pulling away slightly already. Of course, the qualifying time between Petit and Hara was pretty similar, so it should be able to... I saw a battle. Oh yeah, Tarkowski is into the wall. Did you see what happened?
He just went straight on. I don't know if he forgot there was a corner coming up.
Oh,
Maybe lost concentration, but he just went straight on.
yeah, he's got a lot of damage now though, so
yeah,
that's really unfortunate because he did a really good qualification. I think he should have pace on Heckenfest, so it'll be a battle for him to catch up to Heckenfest right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Saranko has really already got a significant lead on Petit.
Yeah, as we see... Oh, Milano is off the track there. Didn't look like he had any contact with anybody. Just looked like he spun off the track. Of course, some of these drivers are not used to this track, so it's going to be a little bit of a Wild Wild West race here, I think. At least from the look of it right now, Luke Mason... I'm not sure how well Luke Mason knows this track, but he is keeping up with the top 2 pretty well right now. And I think he's just going to go faster as the race goes on. David Kraft?
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah, he's just put into the pits.
Yeah, Tarkowski went into pits, yeah. David Kraft is falling back. He's already 3 seconds behind these guys. I don't think he's super familiar with this track, but he was doing pretty well before earlier during practice. So we'll see if he can catch up as time goes on. We got 41 minutes left of the race, 42 minutes. And Luke Mason in his nice new livery. Don't know, what do you think about those colors?
I'm just watching to see how long Tarkowski's going to be in the pits with this damage.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty big bang into the wall, so probably, I would guess 2 minutes or something like that. Which would mean he is already a lap down, but...
Oh, he's coming out now, so that was less than a minute.
that was faster than I thought. Oh, he got a stop and go as well.
Yeah.
Speeding in the pit
He
lane.
was right at the end of the pit lane, so he's done well to get a penalty coming out of the pits when he was right next to the exit.
That's really unfortunate. We'll see if he can catch up to Heckenfest after all this, but...
And he's come out just ahead of the lead cars, is that right? I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that is correct. It might throw the order here a bit if it stays like this.
Yep, he's come out right into the middle of things, which is going to make it interesting.
Yeah, we can see Carlsrank now pulling. I just want to mention that Heckenfest is keeping up with Taylor Milano. That is really surprising for me. Heck, he's not been the fastest driver this season. He's been quite off pace. Definitely not been able to keep up with Milano. Maybe Milano has some sort of damage. Because we saw him spun around earlier, so I'm not sure if he has damage. Maybe he's trying to stay out until the pit stops come into play. Carlsrank, he's extending increasing his gap 1.6 seconds right now. Luke Mason is 1.6 behind Petit, so there's a little bit of a gap between the top drivers right now. Not as close as it was yesterday. but I think most drivers are not very familiar with this track, which is making the races a little bit more spread out. But I think we're going to be able to see more mistakes, as we can see Tarkowski now right ahead of Kara Sorenko. Oh, he is going into the pits though, which means, oh yeah, he had to stop and go, so that means the top drivers are not going to get slowed down by him. Milano and Heckenfest are... Milano is now building a gap on Heckenfest. I think Heckenfest starting to make mistakes. Something he often does in unexpected situations. But he is definitely getting better at racing, I have to say that. Let's see if Milano can start catching up here. I think he pushed too hard in the beginning. I think there could be something to that.
Yeah, he was quite open at the beginning of the race there that he's not overly familiar with his track, so it is a temptation to push too hard to try and keep up with the faster cars, and that carries a risk.
Yeah, I would like to agree with that, because right now we can see him pulling away quite hard from Heckenfest. He might have started to get a feeling for the track a bit now. I also should note that a lot of the drivers, David Kraft, Petit, and Sorenko, was practicing quite a lot earlier today, so they've gotten quite a lot of track time. So that is an advantage for them. You can see Sorenko is pulling away quite a bit now as well. Meanwhile, Luke Mason is maintaining a somewhat okay distance to Petit. Most drivers are a bit spread out right now. So it's not as intense as yesterday, but there's quite a bit left of the race. 36 minutes in. I think the pit window usually opens at 27 minutes. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's when the pit window opens. We have 10 more minutes until the pit window. Also looking at the best time chart now, it looks like Matthias Tarkowski has not set a best time, which should indicate that he is using more of the track than he should. He's pushing outside of the track limits, I think. His last lap was 3 minutes 38 seconds, but he had a stop and go as well. Seb's best time is 2 minutes 05. Meanwhile, Taylor Milan is 2:03, and our leader is 2 blank or 2:0.9. Which is almost half a second faster than Petit right now. And in turn, Petit is almost half a second faster than Luke Mason in his fastest lap. But right now we can see Luke Mason is actually faster in the last lap. So Luke Mason is slowly gaining on Petit right now. I think if the standing stands like this, because second place is 23 points, first is 30 points. Sorenko is on 13 points. He gets 30 points, he's on 43 points. Petit's got, right now he's on 23. Petit gets third place, then he's on 20 points. That means he's also on 43. So that means if Petit finishes third place, if Luke Mason managed to overtake him, Sorenko and Petit are going to be equal. in first place, I think. Assuming David Kraft doesn't... No, actually, if David Kraft finishes 4th or 5th, he's gonna be equal as well for first place. Yeah, that's interesting. Have you seen anything interesting happen on track?
I think the top 3 there, because Petit would like to be closer to Soranko, putting a bit of pressure on Soranko. He spun. He spun.
He binned it.
Just as I was talking there, yep, he spun, and Mason has got past.
I was waiting for someone to make a mistake, because this is a track that we've never really raced in Olympus here. At least not in this game. I know in Project Cars 2 we did. What do they? Yeah, it is Suzuka, but they name it a different thing. But in ACC we've never done this track, and the drivers are not really used to it. So we were expecting a lot of mistakes and incidents, but that's really unfortunate for Albon. But as said, if Soranko wins and Albon finishes 3rd, they are equal in the standings. So as long as Albon finishes 3rd, he's still going to be in the lead. And then there's 2 races left as well, of course. Right now, David Kraft is in 4th place. That is 15 points, I believe. So since David won yesterday, he stays in 4th place. Now then David's going to be in 1st place. So yeah, that means Petit would be in 2nd place. Yeah, if David Kraft finishes 4th, he's going to stay in 1st place for the championship. Yeah. As long as David finishes 4th or higher, he's going to stay in the lead of the championship. Taylor Milano is now 9 seconds behind David Kraft, so we'll see if Taylor Milano manages to get his times down, because I'm looking right now, and Taylor Milano was just a tiny bit faster than David Kraft on his last lap, so if he can keep that up, then it is possible for Taylor to close up. Right now he's 10 seconds behind David. The gaps here are quite big right now. I think the only way we're going to see any drastic driver switches right now is if there's any mistakes, or if there is any genius pit strategy coming in. I'm gonna say this car, Soranko, is 2 seconds faster than everyone else right now, so he is on a run. Last lap he was 2 seconds faster than Luke Mason. This lap, let's see. This lap he is 1.5 seconds faster, but still faster. And Mason is about equal pace to Albon Petit now. Which is really unfortunate for Albon. David Kraft 7 seconds behind Petit. Taylor Milano is now 11 seconds behind David, so he is losing. He's losing pace. David did a better lap. And we have Heckenfest 2:10 last lap. That is quite a big difference. And Tarkowski 2:15. It's like you said earlier. There's a pretty big difference in the drivers that are more experienced compared to the drivers that are less experienced.
Yeah.
Tarkowski is almost 2 seconds faster than his last lap right now. But of course he was really slow on his previous lap.
Yeah, just looking at Petit, you know, he hasn't ruled himself out of this race after that unfortunate spin. He will be, you know, he'll be popping up in Luke Mason's rear view mirror on some of these bends.
It does look like he has closed up, you're right. I also want to say that Tarkowski has made a pretty big leap in his pace right now. Right now, Tarkowski is the 3rd fastest on track previous lap, which is quite interesting. He is still 1 lap down though. It's going to be hard for him to catch Heckenfest, but Heckenfest is 5 seconds slower than Tarkowski, at least last lap. So I think we will see Tarkowski unlapping himself eventually. And then maybe he will even overtake Heckenfest if Heckenfest does do any mistakes. As we are following Karasorenko on his conquest of Suzuka. Yesterday did not go his way. Today he is in the lead, and I think the pit window will open here shortly. I think we have 10 seconds until the pit window will open. We'll see here shortly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pit window is opening.
Pit window is open. That is correct. Let's see. Will Tarkowski be the first one to take his pit stop? No, he goes past. Who do you gamble on will take his pit stops first?
I don't know. I just want to set my camera up outside the pits here and just see what happens.
Yep. Right now we have Karasorenko is the closest one to the pits, but he's usually stays out quite long before he pits. So we'll see. I think we'll see him staying out as well. Done a pretty good run, and I don't think he wants to pit just yet. Let's see if Luke Mason goes in. Nope, Luke Mason shoots over. It looks like Petit is gonna go in. Nope. I think it's just the way the track is laid out. It looks like everybody's going into the pit. David Kraft. Nope. Let's see if Taylor Milano goes in. If Taylor Milano had damage from previous incident, I think he's probably going to go in pretty fast. Taylor is staying out as well. That means he did not have any contact when he spun. That was an own mistake. Petit has lost a little bit of time on Luke Mason again. But of course, I think during the pit stops we might see... Oh, sliding a little bit wide there with the back end. I think when the pit stops start happening, we're going to see a little bit of a change in order, depending on who's fastest in the pit lane. And seeing that it's very easy to get a stop and go if you're speeding in the pit lane. And then you're going to see some drivers might want to gamble as I get a message. Let's turn that off.
There's the first car into the pits now.
And looks like Tarkowski. Let's see how long he stays in the pit lane. Sorenko is the next one to come up towards this start-stop straight here. But as said before, I think he's going to stay out. If I know him correctly, he's going to stay out for quite a bit. Yeah, he is shooting past. Next is Luke Mason. He's also shooting past the pit lane. Albon Petit has spun yet again. Albon Petit has spun yet again. Albon Petit struggling. I think he's going to go in and pit. Yep. Albon Petit is going into pit. It means David Kraft is in provisional 3rd place right now.
Here's a very quick stop. It only looked like it was 10, 11, 12 seconds, something like that.
For Tarkowski?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any tire changes due to the short race distance, but
Petit just pulled up now.
yeah, let's see how long he stays.
Even quicker, less than 10 seconds, he's off.
Right? Yeah, I think most drivers will have a really short pit stop like Petit. Let's see if 10 seconds is fast enough for the other guys. Of course, the Suzuka pit lane is slightly longer than the Zandvoort one, but still, it is not the longest pit lane. We'll see if Tarkowski and Petit are the ones that have cleared their pit stops. Heckenfest is still behind Petit, even though he has not taken his pit stop. And I think Tarkowski was in the pit lane, so that's why he's further behind Heck now.
Is that just went past? I think it is.
That was
Carol.
Sorenko went past the pit lane, yeah.
Yep. Decided not to pit.
We are at the
Same
halfway mark.
with
Keep pushing.
Luke
Mason.
Yep.
Yep.
We have David Kraft coming. Is he gonna? Yeah, I think David Kraft is coming into pits. Yep, he's diving in. See, don't speed. Good. Looked like a good entry. See if Milano does the same. Milano stays out for yet another lap. I think the drivers should be able to stay out for one more lap after this. Maybe Sorenko could stay out for 2 more laps before the pit stops.
David Kraft splash and dash, less than 7 seconds.
That's really good for David Kraft. Of course, David Kraft did a really good pit stop yesterday as well. David Kraft's coming out right behind Petit though. That was really close.
That was close.
Not quite as fast today to overshoot Petit. We'll see if... we'll definitely see if Sorenko and Luke Mason can have as quick pit stop as Petit and Kraft had, but yeah, that was very close.
Yeah, Kraft wasn't giving up any time coming out of the pits there at all.
Yeah.
He was on it.
And, now we'll see if Petit can avoid any incidents. That would be good. Same for David, of course. Everybody needs to avoid the incidents, but yeah, as long as Petit can avoid feeling the pressure from David.
Caro has declined to pit again,
So
but
Mason is going in.
Mason's come in, yep.
I think Sorenko has to pit next lap, so he will be coming in next lap. I think Milano is... he might go in this lap or wait till the last lap. We'll see. But Heckenfest also hasn't pitted yet. I just noticed. I think Heckenfest needs to pit this lap because I don't think he's going to make it over the line.
Luke Mason, 7 seconds in the pits.
Alright, so... yeah, Luke Mason is already out of the pits. And Albon Petit is right now at the pit entry, so... Luke Mason staying ahead of David Kraft and Albon Petit. Let's see Sranko. I think Hackenfest might be going into the pit. I see Milano is in the pit now as well.
Yep, he's been in and... Yep, 10 seconds. So yeah, they're all doing between 7 and 10 seconds in the pits.
I think that's a pretty big difference though, because seeing as the gaps were 5 seconds between most of the cars, so
Yep.
if you have a 10-second pit stop compared to a 7-1, yeah, as we could see with Albon Petit and David Kraft, that was really close when David came out.
Yeah. So Seb's in the pits now, just about to pull up in front of his crew.
I think see how long Heck stays in. I think Tarkowski could unlap himself here. He's fast, as we see Sorenko is also coming in.
Seb's slow, still 15 seconds in the pits.
Is he changing tires, you think?
And behind him, Carroll's coming behind him. 20 seconds in the pits now for Heckenfast.
Could be damage, might be fixing damage.
Carroll. Heck leaves after 35 seconds and Carroll's out after 8 seconds.
That means Heckenfest might have actually changed tires. No, I don't think that's the best strategy here. The race is short enough so you don't have to change tires, and if you do, you wouldn't gain any advantage, I don't think.
Yep, Carroll's Heckenfast has let Carroll pass, which is good.
Yep. I think
Window is closing now.
the strategy of the Hackenfest changing to new tires might be because Tarkowski is already far behind him. He feels like he can't change tires and still keep ahead of him, and got fresher tires at the end. That might be how Hackenfest is thinking about this. But Albon Petit still staying in 3rd place. Means, as the standings are right now, Carlos Ranko and Albon Petit are shared 2nd place. David Kraft is right now in 1st place in the championship. Luke Mason would be getting 23 points, but depends. I don't really know where he will end up in the standings for that. Luke Mason, and then we have Taylor Milano. Taylor Milano finished. He did finish 4th last time, but that is still under review because of the incident between Milano and not David Kraft, with Carlos Sorenko. So yeah, that could still change. Tarkowski, 7th place. Tarkowski and Heckenfest might have a battle here for 6th place in overall World Cup Championship. Petit does increase his gap slightly every lap on David Kraft. David Kraft is still there, and if Albon is not careful, David will jump on the opportunity. 3 seconds behind now. Luke Mason is 12 seconds behind Sorenko. 15 minutes left. Petit is 11.6 seconds behind Mason. I'm not sure if Petit is actually closing up. It looks like Mason is still having about similar pace as Petit. Let's see here. Yeah, Petit is actually closing up a tiny bit now. I think it just keeps jumping back and forth. This corner is not Albon Petit's favorite corner. That's where he spun around and lost second place to Luke Mason. Luke Mason that missed the first race, unfortunately. He could have done pretty good on Zandvoort, I think. Aston Martin is usually good on a lot of tracks. I've heard a lot of people saying that they will be switching cars for next season. Do you have any plans on switching cars?
No, I will be Porsche until I die.
Alright. I guess you are used to the Porsche by now.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anybody ever gets fully used to the Porsche with its ever-changing weight distribution because of where that petrol tank sits. So it provides me with a challenge every single race, and that's what I like about the Porsche. So yeah, I'll stick with it.
Yep. I heard that Hackenfest is probably going to move to Aston for Tucci. At least he said earlier today that he felt the Aston was very stable compared to the McLaren, so he's really liking that car. I've seen a lot of guys turning towards the Mercedes for next season. Not sure how much that's Caro's influence, but personally I've tried the Mercedes for a 24-hour race, and yeah, I definitely prefer the Mercedes before the BMW. Looks-wise, I might prefer the BMW, but performance-wise... Oh, we see Heck is off track, and he is now slowing down Luke Mason a little bit. We'll see if... He did slow him down just a little bit, so I don't think Mason is going to lose too much to Albon Petit here. Let's see how many seconds Albon can gain from that. We got 12 minutes left. Petit is 11 seconds down. It's going to be hard for him to catch up, but of course if Luke makes a mistake, anything can happen. Petit and David are still close to each other. 5 seconds difference. So that battle is still up for grabs. Milana is not too far behind from... well, he is quite far behind, but if Petit or David have any incident, then Milana could for sure pick up another position before the end of the race. Mason's nice livery. What do you think about the new liveries for the World Cup, by the way?
Yeah.
I think
these new liveries.
What was that?
Are these all new liveries? All cars out here sporting new liveries?
No, it's Luke Mason, Sorenko, and well, I don't think you saw Coderman's livery, but Coderman is also using.
We have another off.
Yeah, we saw Heck going off. Yeah, Heck was by himself, so that was. But yeah, that gives Tarkowski a little bit of a catching up there, although Tarkowski is quite far behind, so I don't think it's going to help him too much. We are seeing Petit closing up to Heckenfest to lap him here, so we'll see if that's going to affect the standings between David and Petit when they have to pass him. We're also seeing Sorenko's closing up on Tarkowski. Tarkowski has qualified in 4th place, but then had a bad start, and then he had an even worse day when he went straight into the wall. Could have been his steering that went off, sending him into the wall.
Yeah, it was a high-speed crash. That I'm not sure what went wrong there. Lack of concentration, momentary lapse in concentration, perhaps, or yeah, maybe a steering input issue.
Yeah, that could have been the issue as well. I just saw a message from Koderman that he was having family issues, family problems. That's why he had to suddenly leave. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, hoping it's nothing too serious there, and we'll see him back soon.
Yep, things like this happen. Bon Petit now coming up to Heckenfest. Right behind Heckenfest now. Let's see how much this will slow him down. I think he's got a better run on Heck here. He also got the slipstream, so he's probably going to be able to overtake here. Yeah, it's a clean pass. And Heck is almost shooting right into Petit's back there. Don't know what Heck is thinking. Did not look like he was braking at all. Let's see if David Kraft can get past as easy as Petit did. I do think Swanker has passed Kowski as well, yeah. Six and a half minutes left. The closest battle on track right now is Petit and Kraft. It's not really a battle. You can see the speed difference here. Bon Petit's already made a giant gap on Heckenfest. Bon Petit flying by the camera. I do believe it is quite close to Heckenfest. 2-3 seconds behind him, I think. He's gonna catch up pretty fast. And he is at least 2 seconds faster than Heck per lap. And Matthias Tarkowski has lost a lot of pace from the start of the race. He was doing 2:02s earlier, now he's 2:03. As Heck got a 2:07 last lap, that is quite a big difference. David Kraft is 3 seconds faster than Heckenfest last lap. You can see Heck or David Let's see how easy he can pass here. Don't know why Heck is flashing his lights. Is Heck gonna slow down David? Did let him pass, but it did look like David lost a little bit of time there compared to Petite. I don't think it would have mattered though, because there's only 3.5 minutes left. The grid is quite spread out, so I do think standings as is are gonna stand unless something dramatic happens, unless somebody makes a really big mistake. Should I knock on wood?
Just went the whole race avoiding a commentator's curse.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay.
I usually try to go around it. I know I jinxed some people last race. I was thinking, I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. So, and then you had the incident between Karasarenko and Taylor Milano, unfortunately. But this race has been pretty clean. Of course, there's been a lot of difference in pace, although most of the drivers have caught up to quite a similar pace at the end of the race here. So the gaps have stayed pretty similar. I think when we move to Hungaroring, we're going to see a little bit more competitiveness. I think it's a track that more people probably knows. Craft is still in the lead of the championship if the standings stand like this. Rakowski has not managed to catch up to Hackenfest. He's almost half a lap down still, and the lap behind from the looks of it.
Leaders on final lap now.
Final lap now. Karasarenko. He's done a good race. Led from start to finish. I think Sarenko's qualified first in every single race.
Yeah, seems quite comfortable on these last 2 laps. His car's handling okay. He's not having to do any major rash steering inputs to try and correct understeer or oversteer. The tyres are still doing a good job for him there.
Yeah, he's on point today. He's usually very good. He's usually leading from start to finish this season. Last season he had a little bit more struggle. Couldn't quite keep up with Mark Whitford, but this season has been his so far. And, the World Cup didn't start well for him, but he is in the lead now, and it does look like he is going to win. Second place right now is Luke Mason. We'll see if he can do better in the coming races to catch up to these guys. Because there's only 2 more races after this, so you gotta grab all the points you can. Every position counts. Sarenko.
Yep, that's him on his final lap.
Yeah, this is the finish. Sarenko, a winner of Suzuka, winning his first race in the World Cup here.
The leader has finished the race.
Yep, well done, Carol.
Very good race, very solid, stable. Here comes Luke Mason coming in. taking second place. It's been a battle all season between Serenko and Luke. Luke not really used to this track either, I don't think. So good race from him. Alban Petit unfortunately qualified second, finishing in third place. Still a good performance, and he should be equal on points with Serenko. David Kraft finishes fourth, means he's keeping his lead in the championship. 45 points for David Kraft. Serenko and Petit are equal on 43 points. I do not dare say anything else than that. Taylor Milano got in 13 or 15 points last week, or yesterday actually. Today he's getting 13 points. That is 28 points for him in total so far. And that is today's race. We'll come up with some interviews here in a while, so stay tuned with us.
Green light, go, go,
We
go.
will be right back. Interviews will be coming up, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we'll be coming up with the national anthem here and the podium, and after that we'll have some driver interviews, so stay tuned. And here we go, the Finnish national anthem once again. All right, guys, we'll be coming up with some interviews here. Give me 1 second, and I will be setting it up here. First up, we got the winner of the race, Karo Serenko. Hello, Karo. Can you hear us?
Yes.
You won today's race. How did you feel about it?
It was good. Good race.
Yeah, you led from start to finish. Did you do a lot of practice on the track beforehand, or?
Not too much, but after got my setup problems fixed, it was quite
Yeah,
smooth.
yeah, but have you raced on this track before, or was this your?
Yes.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a track that not a lot of people know and haven't raced on before. So we had a few drivers that didn't quite keep up, but you managed to stay on top from first to finish. Um, so very good race, and I think you are in shared second place with Alban Petit right now.
Yeah, might be.
Yep. So good race, and hopefully we'll see you at Hungaroring next week. Yeah, next week.
Yep.
Yep. Race man. All right. Second up, we'll get. Was in second. That was Luke Mason. We'll get Luke Mason in here. Luke, can you hear us?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Hey, congratulations. Second place. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it was alright. It was a bit of a lonely race. I was with Albon for a bit and I was hoping I could overtake him. But then he just made a mistake and that was kind of that. Then in the pit stops I thought he might get me back, but I actually ended up further ahead. I don't really know how that happened. But and then I was just able to hold the gap from there, to be honest. We would kind of, if he closed up, I could sort of put my foot down a bit and just extend the gap a bit more. But yeah, just a bit lonely, kind of on my own. But it was still good. I was just saying I can't decide if I like this track or not.
So it was your first time on this track as well, then.
It was, yeah. I didn't put that much practice in, which probably explains my quali pace. But yeah, I only started driving it about 2 days ago. But it was, I don't know. I think maybe because I didn't have that much racing going on today, maybe that's skewed my opinion. But I don't know how hard it would be to overtake anyway.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you had some pretty good pace after driving the track for a while. So, of course, you're always fast, and you don't really need that much practice to to keep up with the top drivers anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. I could probably get up there with sort of Caro and Albon on quali pace had I sort of put in a bit more practice. I think because I was actually following Albon in the race, and he was taking a very different line to me in one of the chicanes.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, I actually gained quite a lot of time. So maybe I should have done a bit more research. I don't know.
Yeah, because we saw you had a slightly slower pace than Petit for the beginning of the race, but then at some point, probably when you started doing that, we could see that your times and Petit's were pretty equal. So
Yeah, he was taking he was taking a lot more curb than me, and I didn't realize you could take that much. So I started doing that, and then my pace just kind of improved quite a bit. So
yeah,
you know.
well, you got 23 points today. Hopefully, we'll see you at Hungaroring. Although I'm not sure if you can make it. But,
I can't do the Saturday one, so the next one will be Kyle Army for me.
all right. Well, good race, and we'll see you then.
Cool. See you then.
All right. That was Luke Mason, second place for today. So we'll see. We have Alban Petit left. His mic is muted, so we'll see if he responds today. Alban, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You finished third today. How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't think I could have really expected much more today. Caro was just too fast, and I had a slight advantage on Luke in the first laps of the race, but then he was faster than me, so even if I didn't make a mistake, he would probably still have overtaken me, so yeah.
I mean, you were actually faster than Luke for the first part of the race, and then at the end of the race, you guys had quite similar pace because Luke just mentioned that he kind of found his pace by watching your lines. So you were doing a different line than him, and when he started doing the same, that's when he started having similar times that you. But he was definitely by no means faster than you. So I think you could have definitely gotten second place if you wouldn't had that incident.
Okay. Well.
But yeah, I think right now you are in second place, equal with Sorenko, 43 points equal. And then you guys are 2 points behind David Kraft, that has 45 points. So still, you're high in the standings and you have the chance to win. So good race, and hopefully we'll see you at Hungaroring.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be interesting. Like, we're all very close in the standings, so still everything to do, I guess.
Yeah, and Hungaroring should be a track that I think both you and Sorenko knows it. I know if it was 1 or 2 seasons ago, you guys had some pretty good battling going on Hungaroring, so it's going to be an interesting race, I think.
Yeah, I like the track, so it will definitely be fun.
Yep. And I think last time you drove it, you also did Audi, right?
Yeah, I had the Audi as well.
Yeah. So
but yeah, Caro finished like just ahead of me with an extra drive-through. So I hope my pace has improved a bit since then.
Yeah, and since you are in the Audi and he switched cars, you might have a slight advantage as well. So we'll see next weekend. But yeah, good race, man, and we'll see you then.
Thank you. See you next time.
All right. So that was all the interviews for the day. We'll come up with highlights any second here. So good race. Do you have anything you want to say, Rocky?
No, good race. It's good to see Caro get a win because he has been, consistently turning in the fastest lap times on most of the track. So good to see Caro got a win. Good to see Petit get on the podium as well. Yeah, it was a good, clean race today.
Yep, it was. Will we be getting you? Can we expect you as commentator next Saturday, or what do you think?
Yeah, it should be. I was away this weekend, so unfortunately I missed yesterday. But next weekend should be good for both days. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we'll see you then, and we'll see all of you guys then as well. So we'll come up with highlights right now, and we'll see you next weekend.